Welcome back to the OKC Foodcast, your guide to the food in Oklahoma. As always, I'm Nabil. I don't change.
That's your name.
I went with a different name last week, but that was for different reasons.
And Christina.
And Josh.
Just kidding. Did not go by a different week. I'm not sketchy at all.
Don't ask.
And thanks for joining us for another week for food in Oklahoma.
Yes.
This week is going to be all about us because we love talking about ourselves. No, it's more so we can get to know Josh and Christina.
Yeah.
You've heard me for a year or so.
We're more than a year.
Move over.
Okay. But first, let's talk about our favorite thing that we ate this week.
Yeah.
Who wants to kick it off?
I don't know. Okay, I'll start.
Okay.
So, this is not quite my eat of this week. It's a little bit like overdue. Maybe like it's probably like 8 or 9 days.
I was
people
gonna say,
that.
you don't have to say that.
I can't lie. Okay.
So just so you know the back end of the story, sometimes we record 2 episodes back to back. So
Like what I had for breakfast and what I had for lunch.
right.
my timeline gets a little twisted.
And this is Monday, so it's the beginning of a week. So there's not a whole
Is
lot
it
of selection.
Monday? Oh,
so
gosh.
sometimes you have to dig back.
Well, maybe your week goes Monday to Monday.
Maybe, yeah. So last weekend, my eat of the week, but it was like last weekend, was chicken wings. So my boyfriend's brother-in-law has this really, really good chicken dry rub recipe. I'm just gonna shout out some ingredients because it was just such a good. So basically, it's lemon zest,
Yes.
kosher salt,
Yes.
smoked paprika, cayenne, garlic powder, onion powder, dried thyme. All of those mixed together. Mix it in with the chicken wings on the grill, and it's an instant. Like, yeah, everybody likes it.
I will testify for those wings. They were delicious.
Oh yeah, that's right. Nabil had tried some. I can't remember what the occasion was.
We don't need an occasion to eat.
No,
Special
never.
chicken wings.
It was like a hey, you wanna come over Saturday?
Want to come over for some pizza and chicken wings?
Yeah, so we fried up some pizza, fired up, not fried up.
I was about to have a lot of questions.
I would have been like, in Oklahoma, not surprised. No, I'm joking. No,
Ooh,
JK.
State Fair, fried pizza.
Fried pizza.
Hey,
Done.
yeah. Ever since I've heard of the fried gummy bear, nothing.
There are some
Surprises me.
surprising things that are fried,
You
which
can fry a lot of things.
I mean, I don't know. This is a rabbit hole. Maybe we can talk about as we get to know each other. But I will be curious to know your opinion on what fried stuff you've tried at the fair. And so we'll get back to that. But those
Okay.
chicken wings were amazing. Usually I'm not a fan of the dry rub. I like my wings saucy.
Okay.
But man, those wings were excellent.
I am so glad you like them.
So good.
And then RJ, my fiance, he made a homemade ranch also, which was really good. So those two combined, pretty awesome. And yeah, that's my eat of the week. I didn't have any other interesting thing to eat this week.
So you didn't use any wet ingredients in the marinade at all?
At all, no. I just I didn't even No, there was no wet ingredient. No,
Like no like juice or like lemon juice or oil or anything like that.
No.
Which, I mean, would technically not make it a dry rub anymore. But.
I asked though. I was like, "Are you sure I didn't add anything else?" And he said, "No, just do the lemon zest." And of course, I made a whole bunch for people, so I just kind of multiplied the just the amounts of it. But I used a little bit more extra lemon zest than I should have. But I think that made it really good. Yeah,
I really enjoyed that zing of lemon in there.
I was gonna say I love it when you've got a little bit of a tang.
Yeah.
From the lemon coming
Yeah.
through. That sounds amazing. I know when I've done a dry rub a few times before, getting it to adhere to the chicken and not have all of your seasoning at the bottom of the basket
Yes.
or whatever is always a challenge. So good on you for actually getting it to stick. That sounds amazing.
And whenever you do that, do you add any wetness to it?
I have before with just with maybe a little bit of egg wash or something like that. But I haven't done a whole lot, but it's sometimes a challenge to get it to stick.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I've never done a pure dry rub, but whenever I mix in dry things with whatever marinade, things fall to the bottom, which I think is, I don't know if there's a way to overcome that. There's not, unless you blend it.
You could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to we talked about doing this at some point this summer. I don't know if it'll happen, but doing like a wing cook-off.
Yeah. That would be, I've actually never cooked a chicken wing, now that I'm thinking about it, which is really weird.
You've done burgers, and did you do the chili cook-off too, Nabil?
I did do the chili cook-off. I've made like the big wings, but not like, you know, what people are used to being like wings.
The little smaller pieces.
Yeah. So I'm excited about this. I'm gonna have to figure something out.
Are y'all, if you go for chicken wings, are you actually going for the wing portion, or do you like the drumsticks that are sometimes thrown in and called chicken wings?
I like the flats.
Okay, you like the flats.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I like the whole thing.
I feel like you get more bang for your buck if it is the drumstick, but the flats can be good.
Yeah. So you're a drumstick person?
I am.
Okay.
I am. Like if I go to a place, normally I'll go all drums.
Okay.
On an order, but you mix it up sometimes.
Yeah.
I like
I mean, I don't mind the occasional drumstick, but I like scope out the flats.
Easier to dip this out, right? Like,
right? And I feel like I can, I don't know. To each their own. What do you prefer, listeners? Let us know.
All right, so my eat of the week was coming back, and this isn't in Oklahoma City, it's just a little outside the metro here, but I was coming back from a work trip a couple days ago, and I stopped in Wellston, America.
Oh, I know what's going to come.
Yeah.
I know what's happening.
You know
right here.
You know what's coming. Wellston has a barbecue stand called Butcher's Stand Barbecue. It's on the side of the road, literally right next to the turnpike. They started out as just this little trailer that every day they smoked really good barbecue in. They've actually recently added a whole building that's an indoor dining space, so you go up to the trailer and you can dine inside in the building. But they have, this has become a place that people will travel for miles around.
So you still order out of the trailer?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I've never gotten a chance to go there. I think never gotten a chance is incorrect. I just haven't had a chance in the time frame that you should go there.
Right.
Because you need to get there early. You need to get there early.
You have to get there early. You have to get there early if you want like a specific cut of meat. Like their burnt ends are what they're known for.
And that's what I want.
Ooh.
And I only got like 2 or 3 of like you could kind of call them burnt ends. I mean, it was like the scrap. Yeah. No, they weren't. I mean, it was still incredible, but it was just like some of the scraps and some of the side cuttings. But their burnt ends are amazing. They sell meat by the pound, and they smoke it all right there. You'll have people lining up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh wow! And this is like just during the week, or mainly on the weekends, like after.
They are open all week long. And so they have some longer weekend hours, I believe, but it's insanely good barbecue. So I had a few of the burnt end scraps, and then some of their brisket, and then they have some really good sides. I had the apple pie beans.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
They add they add apples into their baked beans, and like a brown sugar sweet. So it's a sweeter bean, but apple pie, baked beans. I also had the macaroni and cheese. So I've been there a couple times, but if I'm going down the turnpike or going up the turnpike, then it's really it's really, really good.
Do you go out there, Josh, like intentionally seeking out this barbecue?
I have before. Like I said, it was a work trip this time, but it was with a work trip. But I have gone intentionally out there early in the morning before to have their burn-ins.
Oklahoma City has some pretty good. There's another place. I cannot remember the name of this place, but it's kind of it's another barbecue place, and I think they're known for their cake also. It's like right by. It's like in the middle of nowhere, but it's in the city. I want to say it's kind of like northeast side, and it's right by a gas station. And I remember going there, and there were some semi trucks there, but I don't remember driving that far. So I know that it's not that far out.
The cake that I've had at a barbecue place is Leo's.
Leo's.
Is it
Boom.
Leo's?
Yes, it's Leo's.
Off of 36th.
Yes.
And Kelly, yes. I've gone in there wearing a suit before, and that was a mistake because I came out smelling like barbecue. But no, fantastic food.
That sounds like a great choice.
Yeah, it's like a pound cake.
Yes,
that they have a frosting on and serve it with some strawberries. Fantastic.
I think that place is very popular for their cake and of course their barbecue. But
yeah.
I've been there a few times for their barbecue, and it's been amazing. I mean, I've taken family from out of state there, and they've loved it. And I just love the place, too. It just seems like you're out in the middle of nowhere, but you're not. You're in the city.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you been there, Nabil?
I have not. I need to go there. It sounds like a place where you go for the barbecue, but stay for the cake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And actually,
you
you can I think buy a whole cake. Like you don't have to just buy a slice. Like you can actually buy the cake. So if you didn't want the barbecue and you just wanted the cake, you could just get the cake.
Nice.
My birthday is coming up. It's actually not, but that'd be.
And I actually misspoke. Butcher Stand Barbecue, they are closed the first part of the week, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday they are open.
And they open at 11.
Yes. So like you have to line up early
Before.
Right.
Yeah, every time I would try to say, okay, let's go to a Butcher Stand Barbecue.
It's Tuesday.
Well, it was a Saturday.
Okay.
But it was like all right, what time do we have to get there? And I was like, well, it opens at 11. Well, we should get there at like 9. Maybe 10.
Nice.
Right? Like, I don't know, but just never made it. I will make it at some point.
It's well worth the trip.
I have to do it.
It's only 20 minutes up the turnpike.
It's not that far. It's not that far.
Yeah.
So,
all right,
one of
Nabil,
these days.
Yeah, what about you?
What's yours?
Mine is going to be New State. So, New State Burgers in Plaza. I'd had them, and this was the first time I actually ate at the restaurant. I'd had them at events, and I had them to go during the whole COVID situation. I'm just call it the COVID situation or 2020 situation. I don't know.
The COVID thing that we all want to forget about.
Did that even happen? Is that a blur? Like, is that real?
What year is it?
Gosh, what a year. Anyway, so I'd never actually eaten it fresh, because everything is different when it's just right there. Man, this burger is good. I like the fact that it was super simple. They've got some onions, pickles, and I like that they were diced. So like everything was, nothing was falling apart. I also appreciate that in a burger. Whenever I'm eating a burger, if the burger starts falling apart, that could be user error sometimes, but a lot of times like things start slipping and sliding.
Yes.
And that just shows you how much thought goes into creating and crafting that burger, because you're like layering things very intentionally so that your sandwich, because essentially it's a sandwich, stays together. Their meat was fantastic. Doing it on the flat top, it had that little bit of crisp and the browning. Man, it was just a solid burger.
Did you dine in, Nabil?
We did.
Nice.
Yeah. Went there for lunch, really quick in and out.
Yeah.
You said, hey, want a burger, and they're like, that's what we do.
And
Came to the right place for a burger.
That's what we do. Like their menu is so simple.
Yeah.
You had a full disclosure. We went together, so I could have.
People
picked.
can't know that. We just talk about food. We don't eat together.
That's right. No, but you had the cheeseburger, and they have a black bean burger. They have a Beyond Burger, which is plant based, and then I had the hot hamburger, which is your burger except on Texas toast, and had cheese, and then it's smothered in a brown gravy.
That gravy was really good.
Insanely good.
Oh, that sounds
So
amazing.
good. And in fact, like as soon as we both tasted the gravy, we're like, Oh, we got to make poutine out of this.
Yeah. Seriously. So Tyler and Jordan, if you're listening,
right.
they've probably already done this because they're actually very innovative with like the random things that they try, and they do a lot of tasting menus and things like that. So I think New State is definitely a must watch for like their specials, because I think they're doing a Detroit style pizza too.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
that's
From
so
time
neat.
to time.
Yeah.
Not always on the menu, but like special events or dinners that they have, maybe on the weekends. They do a
Nice.
Detroit style pizza, which I'm very curious to try.
I really love when restaurants do that, when they kind of it's like you have their staple menu, but then like from Friday to Sunday they'll have like a special, or like during the week they'll do something different.
Yeah.
Kind of branch out a little bit.
Yeah.
Like a burger place doing pizzas.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. 2 reasons, right? Like, one, you get something new from a place that you know and love, and you know that the food, like their food quality and like the attention to detail is great.
Yeah.
And so the thing that they try is probably going to be good. Maybe not the best thing that you had, because, you know, they might not have like aced making a certain type of thing, but it's going to be good. And then on the other side, it's giving the people that are actually making your food a chance to be creative and just like letting loose.
Yes.
And that's usually when like the great ideas come out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well,
Like-
because I can imagine sometimes it can almost get monotonous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got your set menu. These are the things you do, and you do them well.
Right.
Like you find the things you can do well, but you got to keep that those creative juices
Yeah.
flowing all the time.
And then you can go to the other side of the manic spectrum, where you go to a restaurant with like 100 items.
Oh, yeah.
And then you order this one thing, and I always feel bad for like the kitchen behind. I'm like, oh, I really hope I didn't order that one thing that nobody orders. And
But
I'm
like,
like,
what? We
oh,
gotta make
gosh.
this?
Do we even have the ingredients? Oh no.
Who actually orders this here? I was trying to think of an example, but I couldn't.
And it would always be me. Like I'm always ordering that one thing that nobody else wants
Ooh,
to try.
I'm gonna try the alligator today.
The rattlesnake.
Quick, someone go out to the field. No, that probably doesn't happen. Oh man, it's yeah. I don't know what we're talking about. It got lost with the field and the rats.
Creativity, Detroit style pizza.
There you go.
Yeah, because we're
Detroit
talking
style
about your eat of the
pizza
week. How
and-
much you liked state burgers.
New State Burgers.
New State Burgers, yeah.
So they're in the Plaza District. Go give them a try if you haven't done so yet.
The other thing that New State did extremely well were the fries.
Yes.
Oh my word.
So how are the fries? What fries did you guys
It was
order?
like a Parmesan garlic.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with the
They were-
fries, just because it was like that crispy outside, but they kind of melted in your mouth a little bit.
They were kind of fluffy but crispy at the same time.
Ooh,
They were good
yummy.
fries. They were solid fries.
Were they
very
thin
much so.
fries or were they a little thicker, like kind of like wedges?
I wouldn't say shoestring.
No,
I'd
and
say-
they weren't wedges. Like it was right in
It
between.
was just it was a regular fry.
Yeah,
Like the size of it.
Nice.
The taste of it was a little above regular.
yeah.
Above reg.
Yeah, I mean they were like well seasoned, not too much, not too little. Like it was good.
And like with the hot hamburger that I got, I was like, I'm going to do the hot hamburger. I'm going to do a side of fries. And she was like, well, actually, there's fries that come on top of the hot hamburger.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, then I don't need this side of fries. After I ate my hot hamburger, it was like, I should have ordered that.
You're like,
extra
I
side
need
fries.
more of those fries now.
Those
Exactly.
fries
Dang
were good.
it.
Yeah.
Those were really good. Can't wait to go back there.
Yeah. Burgers in Oklahoma are really good.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about like what my favorite burger place was, and I think the one place that really stood out to me a few years ago before the pandemic was the Oklahoma City Museum of Art, their cafe. I think right before the pandemic, they're going through a renovation of their cafe. And I had gone there. I'm sure it gets really busy during the week because a lot of like downtown people will go and just like eat for lunch, breakfast, whatever. But for like a really nice romantic, dinner or something, like they have really good food. And their one burger, they have like caramelized onions. Like that just like really sticks out to me.
I love caramelized onions.
Amen.
That's my thing.
Amen. One of these weekends we should go. I hope they're open. I don't know if their restaurant's open.
I actually haven't ever eaten there. So
Me neither.
My interest is piqued.
But I do. It was either you, like a couple of years ago, or someone else telling me about the burgers at the Museum of Arts Cafe, and I was looking at them. I was just like, man, that's like, it's not a cafe burger at all. It was like, there was so much thought and like so many different ingredients playing with each other that I was just like, why isn't this a bigger thing? So I feel like the Museum of Arts Cafe is very underrated and maybe like a hidden gem that people don't frequent as much.
I totally agree. And I think that it got on my radar because someone told me about the Philbrook Museum in Tulsa. They have a cafe also that is phenomenal. And it's like a buffet style breakfast and lunch that's also out of this world. And I was like, maybe museums do have really amazing.
Who would have thought?
So to anybody listening, go check out the Oklahoma City Museum of Art Cafe.
What do you mean by anybody listening?
To everybody
There's
listening.
Hundreds of people, thousands of people listening.
To the masses listening.
To the masses, to the public.
It's like, hopefully someone's listening.
To you, friend out there.
So thank you if you're one of those people.
Subscribe.
I just tipped my hat to you. Or cap. Is it cap or hat? Tip my hat, tip my cap.
Technically, it'd probably be cap. But nobody says cap anymore.
Really? Oh, okay.
Interesting. Well, I tip whatever's on my head into you.
On my head.
All right, this is getting out of control. But Christina kind of like segued us into a very I was going to say very interesting point, but this is really the point of this episode is getting to know us. So you said your favorite burger was, or one of your favorite burgers was at the Museum of Arts Cafe. Josh, how about you?
Don't do this to me. You're putting me on the spot.
This is going to be an on-the-spot episode. I'm going to get the same treatment here in a second, but
yeah, that is such a hard category because, man, there's so many good burgers around. One of the ones that I was most impressed with that I had a couple years ago, and I haven't had it in a while, was actually at S&B Burgers, and they had a peanut butter burger. I don't know what it's called. It had something to do with peanut. The name had something to do with peanut butter, but it was one of those things where I sat down at the table and was looking over the menu and I'm like, what do I want? And I see peanut butter, and of course it's like this obscure ingredient, and immediately wanted to order it. But it was fantastic.
Really?
Because S&B does a little bit more of the smash burger patties. The fantastic onion burgers as well there. But it had a little bit of heat. I added jalapenos on top of it, so it had a jalapeno, peanut butter, cheese, as well as all the fixings. And it just
peanut
worked.
butter and cheese.
Spicy peanut butter.
So
spicy peanut butter.
The jalapeno and peanut butter, I was just like, ooh, that could work. And then you throw on cheese, I'm like,
It's creamy. It's melty. Why wouldn't it work?
There's no reason. I can't think of a reason why it wouldn't work. It's just you don't hear of that combination.
The only thing that I would have maybe added was crunchy peanut butter, because that is my downfall. Like, you add a little bit of texture.
Oh yeah, but I feel like your jalapenos and onions probably gave some texture.
Yeah,
right?
it did. I'm just a sucker for crunchy peanut butter.
I will say
Josh wants all the texture.
That's right.
multiple textures going on.
Explosion in my mouth.
A crunchy explosion.
Would you say, Josh, that like when you're trying something new though, like do you also think of the texture? Like the texture doesn't scare you. Like if it looks kind of gooey and a little weird, you're like, oh, let me try that.
Yeah, I have never been one of those people that's going to shy away from texture. Like,
nice.
I'll try any texture. It's, for me, it's just another little thing that can elevate a dish just a little bit over others. So
is that extra dimension?
Yeah.
Yes,
right?
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Exactly.
Like another dimension. It's not the flavor. It's that flavor.
It is the flavor, but it
adds to the flavor.
It's like a little fancy jacket you add to the flavor.
Exactly.
Or maybe a cap.
Or maybe a fancy cap.
Or whatever that thing is called on the top of your head.
Whatever you tip to people.
So, I mean, you asked me that question, it would probably change every single time I answer that question. But when you asked it, that was just the first thing that came to my head. And it was a unique burger that I'd had a couple years ago that I've never forgotten. So
one of my friends had the garage and they had a peanut butter burger, and they probably still do. But he was like, I tried a bite of that. It was really, really good. It's like, it's a combination that you're like, peanut butter on a burger.
Yeah.
But
well, a lot of people would be like fried egg on a burger. I mean, there's a lot of people that would be weird to.
Interesting.
But that's become a little more normalized now, right?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. It's become a little more normalized, and anytime you want to put a fried egg on my burger, we're good.
Dang, I'm always
Don't
like...
even ask me.
Exactly.
I'm always like, can I add an egg to this? Like, it's just like my default.
So at New State, actually, that reminds me, she was like, what do you want? Because you can add eggs, you can add bacon, you can add a couple other things. And I mean, it's a list of 4 or 5 things. So it's not like you got a laundry list of ingredients to go through. And I was so tempted to add that fried egg on top. But, the first time eating at some place, I think I like having a baseline.
Yep.
Yeah. Have the original.
Right.
That the chef made.
While we're on the burger train of thought, have either of you had Nick's?
Yes.
Like the original Nick's?
Like stood in line on 10th and Penn.
Have you ever been?
I've heard of
16th
it.
and Penn. 16th and Penn. Or something,
yes, 16th
right?
and Penn. Yeah.
Yes. I've heard of this place.
Oh, my word.
Is it kind of like an old, like 20s looking diner type place?
Yeah, like a max of 12, 15 people
I
in
feel
this
like
thing.
the diner is being a liberal with its definition. I mean,
You have a countertop and like 3 or 4 tables back behind.
And you're sitting on the bar, the counter.
And it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, burger as big as your face. Fantastic fries. I mean, it's that whole like experience because you get to sit there at the bar and watch them cook it right in front of you. Oh, so good.
11th and Penn. I was close with the 10th.
11th and Penn.
16th. It's all the same.
It's somewhere between 10th and 16th. No, but if you do decide to go there, just be prepared to wait in line.
Yep.
No matter what time you go, there is going to be some sort of line. And I mean, I think I've had this conversation with a few friends about how was Nick's. And I think the waiting and the anticipation adds to the experience to the burger itself.
Agree.
It sure does.
It's like you're like, man, I'm about to have Nick's. Like it's been a long time coming.
Yeah. Also, if you're in line a while and you're hungry, whatever is coming to you, you will think it's delicious.
Yeah. Now Nick opened up a place, Nick's Place, in Midtown, right on Hudson, I think, or somewhere. I feel like I should stop saying locations because I have to keep going back and be it's
Midtown.
Actually, it is
Midtown.
Yes. The Midtown part of Oklahoma City.
Yeah, and that one's a little. They have some dishes that are a little higher end, a little more elevated,
more fork and knifey type of stuff.
Yeah, but they still offer some of the classic bar food that you would find at Nick's Grill. Plus, they have a fantastic lounge downstairs. If you just go straight in the door, there's a set of stairs. You go down there any time of the day or night, and it's really, really cool. Yeah. Really cool atmosphere.
Cool. Wait, are there like, I think I've been there. Like, if you've been down there, are there like weird portraits of like politicians? Does that ring a bell? If not, I'm completely...
Josh, how do you feel about politician portraits being called weird?
Former recovering politician here, but
that's
this is probably my picture for all I know. That one's weird.
So for people that don't know, Josh served in the House of Representatives.
Yeah, for 8 years. So
that is such a long time.
I'm a recovering politician. Have a lot of stories, and we spent a lot of time in Nick's, and I'm not sure if I remember portraits or not, but you think of like that dark wood, mahogany, velvet benches,
secret conversations,
speakeasy type.
Think backroom deals being done in Washington D.C. in a little diner. That's it. I mean, it's kind of cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
So, but yeah, Nick's good burger.
It is a good burger. It's solid. Try it if you haven't done so. It's an experience. You have to do it. I was about to say something that might not be popular opinion, but I'm going to say it anyway because keep it real on the podcast.
Yeah, this is a podcast. It's a trust tree.
This is why we have a podcast. We can talk about anything that we want. Have you had, would you say Nick's is the best burger you've ever had? And obviously, Christina, this question doesn't apply to you because you haven't tried Nick's yet, but you need to and then come back to us with this answer.
I'll circle back. Yeah.
But you know, a lot of people, like, I've gotten in this little debate where people are, man, that was the best burger ever. Like, nothing can beat it. And I'm like, I feel like, and like you were saying, it's really hard to categorize a burger. I feel like that is a very, very, very good burger.
Mm-hmm.
But can you have a better one? Probably.
Mm-hmm. This is such a subjective question.
It is.
And, you know, when I said subjective, it's different every single day. Because I think the beauty of burgers and why it's so popular and like everybody loves a good burger is because a burger could be something different every single day. Like of what you're wanting on your burger, the different flavor profiles. I promise I'm not skirting your question here, but a
very politician of you.
I think it's one of the best.
It's definitely on
in Oklahoma City for sure. It's one of the best that I've had.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've had it. I need to let's circle. We can go with Christina and
team lunch.
Yeah.
There you
Take
go.
me. Yeah.
All right.
And try it again. But I would say it's definitely top 3 at least.
So
burgers.
Josh, is it the one in Midtown that you really like, or the original spot?
I think I because of the atmosphere, I'm going to the original spot.
I would go with that
11th
too.
and Penn.
Yep, I would go with that too.
Because it's the experience. And I just remember the first time I went there, I was still in high school probably, but it was just the experience of sitting down at that classic bar area and like they're cooking right across from you on the big flat top.
Oh yeah,
they're conversing with you, talking about all the food, talking about whatever's going on. You've got ESPN on the massive flat screen.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I mean, it's just cool.
And Nick's the one working the grill.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
And he's just chatting away like, hey, what's happening? Like, what do you want? And there's not a myriad of options.
No,
There's a burger, and you could maybe specify toppings if he wants to listen to you.
yeah,
If he's open to your suggestions.
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that.
But man, it's definitely on top of the list. Because I took a friend, like you were saying, you have to go to the original. I took a friend to Nick's place when she was visiting from out of town, and I was telling her about like obviously the Nick's grill part of things. Still a solid burger, but like I think that experience just adds so much to it.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
He sounds like a character. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, no,
Just one of those like local Oklahoma. You know.
Yeah.
And he's won
like-
all kinds of awards for his burgers too.
Yeah, and this isn't just us saying it. Like it's a
proven.
thing.
Yeah.
Nick's Grill, go wait in line.
It's worth
That should
it.
be their tagline.
Go wait in line.
You go over there and wait in line.
I feel like some marketing people would balk at that, but it's probably pretty effective.
Isn't the new marketing thing creating the need and the shortage so that people want it more?
That's true.
being withholding.
Right. Yeah. Just purposefully withholding.
So I've got a question for both of you because I mean we talk about restaurants all the time. We talk about chefs. We talk about really, really good high-end quality food. We talk about Nick's and Butcher Stand and fantastic food. We all love to go out and eat, love to experience it. But we all know that there are those times where you don't want to go out and you don't want to cook. You're stuck at home. What's your go-to?
Oh, dang it, Josh.
You want me to go first?
I mean,
No, I think
I'm getting like real talk here. Like what's the just junk stuff that you will consume? You don't want to get big fancy. You don't want to fire up the grill. Don't want to get out the cast iron or anything. Just like what's your
My go-to
meal that is just simple, and after a long day of work, you are just ready to knock this out real quick, eat, and go on with whatever else you're doing.
You go
Are
first.
we? So we're not talking about like getting something delivered.
Nope.
Just something at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be junk food. It could be a snack. It could be whatever.
I've got. Oh man, because like I was like, ooh, I've got two things that I can think about. But now when I'm thinking about more, I'm like, well, maybe because okay. food is so situational,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with the two things that first came to mind:
Okay.
ramen,
Okay.
Faux
and
show.
I'm not talking about fancy ramen. I'm talking about from the packet ramen.
The
Maruchan.
type you
Right?
gotta break up.
Yes,
And, yeah.
I don't break it up
Okay.
because gotta keep the noodles intact. The integrity of the ramen.
You do you.
I like to slurp it.
You gotta
yeah,
slurp it.
for sure, for sure.
But I like me and my friend Sid in college. Who over here in college has not eaten ramen?
Yeah.
I mean, raise your hands.
Crickets.
Crack myself up.
You get 3 pallets for $2.
Right? Yeah. So we would get the Maruchan ramen, and we get fancy with it. We would add in some green Tabasco.
Yes.
We would throw in an egg.
Hell yes.
You'd be like, all right, how can I chef this up?
Right.
Not that I was a chef in college.
Some
I'm not a chef
chives.
right now either. Anyway. But then we started experimenting with different types of ramen, and my favorite one that I found is Shin ramen. It's like this red and black packet. It packs.
Yes. Is
some-
it Korean?
Okay, I've seen this. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's Korean. I think.
Is it?
I think so. I think so. Or maybe I'm just biased because a lot of my Korean friends from a past life, we would get that specific.
It might be. But it's like it packs. It's spicy. It says spicy. It's got some spice.
Yeah, it's got some.
It is you throw in an egg in that, set.
Okay.
Beautiful. And the other thing that I go to is just a simple sunny side up egg with some
Oh
toasted bread.
man. Yes.
Easy peasy.
Simple but good.
Yeah.
I like
just
it.
just cook it right. Don't overcook
Dang.
the egg.
Very nice.
And I don't like flipping it over either. I don't like them over easy. If I had to get it over something, it'd be over easy.
Yeah.
Because I need my yolks runny.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yep. Awesome. All right.
I think it's maybe it's not weird. Maybe this is just a common thing, but I'm kind of like in the same vein as you, Nabil. Like, if like the first two things that came to my mind are eggs, right? Like either I'll make myself a salad, I'll do a poached egg, and it needs to be runny so
Ooh,
that
she
I
gets
could
fancy with it. She poaches them.
I was gonna say this is a quick thing that you're just not wanting to do anything.
You boil water, you throw egg in
It's
it.
super
It's
easy.
easy.
It's super easy. You just put a little bit of vinegar. You just like whip that thing into a little, cyclone in there.
Yeah.
And just put the egg and
Yeah,
boom.
get on our level, Josh.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel ashamed about what I'm about to talk about, but
That's if I'm like trying to be like, all right, Christine, I gotta stay healthy. Let's have some grains and a poached egg.
Again, going to relativity. For her, that's relatively simple. So, like,
It's
on a
true.
regular basis,
it's
I'm just
true. Yeah.
I'm embarrassed for what I'm about to. Well, no, not really. The next thing is, tortilla and some scrambled eggs.
Ooh,
Those
okay.
two.
Yeah.
But it needs to be a. So I'll always get the raw tortillas that you can buy at the grocery store and just put that on the pan and cook it because it needs to be a little crispy. And then I'll put my scrambled eggs, and I'm done. And then the next thing that I usually do when I'm super lazy is also ramen noodles. But also in an effort to try to stay healthy, I've discovered the it's like these rice noodles, but then there's what is it called? There's a different type of noodle also. If anybody's out there that knows what I'm talking about, just let us know. I can't remember what it's called. It's a little transparent. It's not a rice noodle. It's like a type of algae. I cannot remember. It starts with a K, and there's a letter J in there somewhere. It's like those two letters are sticking out to me. But what you do is you rinse it, and then you throw it in the pot with some water. Sometimes I'll put some seafood stock. I always have seafood stock in my pantry. And then
I love how this is not fancy
This
for
is
her.
simple.
Be like, you know what? I'm gonna throw in these noodles with some seafood stock, and it's super easy. And for me, I'm just like, wait, that's what I would plan to make sometimes.
No, it's not it's
It's some kind of glass noodle is what it's sounding like.
yeah, and it's I'll think of it and I'll tell you guys. I'll tell you guys next episode. But anyways,
Yeah, I thought my ramen was gonna be fancy. Never mind.
But I'll put all my leftover veggies in there. Like I'll put mushrooms and I'll put some if I have definitely an egg, and I love soups. I love brothy soups. That's my thing.
I'm becoming a huge fan of stir frying leftover vegetables, like just like anything, just throw it all together, or roasting them. Man, they all just like, I don't know, like I haven't found a wrong combination of vegetables yet. And
for a stir fry?
Yeah, and I've put in some random, like, I'm like, that usually wouldn't, whatever, just throw it in. We have some left.
Yeah.
You know, better than it going to waste. Like, getting some good vegetables in.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so mine would probably, this is way less fancy than y'all, but mine's spaghetti. Mine go-to.
Just plain
easy spaghetti with some red sauce or some Alfredo sauce on top. You can get it done in a couple minutes. Fairly easy. I'm not trying to keep it healthy at all, so I'm not throwing vegetables in or anything like that.
Or better noodles.
Or better noodles. No, no, man. It's just, that's a lot of times I find that I'll be working. I'll come home and I'll be working on stuff until fairly late. I've got 3 kids, put them to bed, and I just need something quick and fast. And so I'll just dig into the pantry, get some noodles, put some red sauce, and Parmesan, and I'm good to go.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yummy.
So
that's weird that like the Parmesan just sets it off, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like you're like, you throw in some Parmesan. Yeah.
Is
now
there
you're talking.
Elevated.
Is there elevate?
Freshly shaved Parmesan.
But you say you don't fancy it up. But I mean, I'm sure is there like do you always shave your
I
parm?
have a microplane. Yeah, absolutely.
I love, random thought, shaving cheese on a microplane and then just watching that fall and just like dissolve into the food.
It's like a snow.
Oh man,
Exactly. It's snow.
Beautiful snowy day.
Yeah, I love it. I love watching it. I love watching it happen.
Absolutely.
There have been times where someone's like, "Tell me when," because like at a restaurant, if they're
That's the
shaving,
dumbest question ever.
Yeah.
I'm
I know.
like, just give me the block.
I'm watching it until it stops dissolving. I was like, all right, that's good.
I'm just
And even
looking
then,
at it
I'm
like it's so beautiful.
Because shortly, if I mix it up, it'll dissolve. But like, hold on, let me mix this up. All right, go again.
Yeah. So all 3 of us had noodles. What's your favorite type of noodle?
Ooh,
Oof,
like,
you
are
guys.
we talking like quick noodle or just any
Noodle. Just,
Flat-
I
I love
didn't
flat
qualify
noodles.
it at all.
I like
Just
flat noodles.
Flat noodle. Okay.
And I say that to keep my options open because you can make some incredible Thai food with flat noodles,
Ooh, yummy.
and you can make some incredible Italian food with flat noodles.
That's true.
And you can make some. I haven't actually tried this. I have tried with flat noodles. Have you two had kause?
What is that? Kause?
It's a Burmese dish. It is a like a coconut curry with, and it's not just like coconut curry that you think in a Thai food coconut curry. It's like turmeric and coconut, and it's a little bit of a different flavor profile. But it's that with like chicken, and then you can add on some onions, green peppers, jalapenos, really anything that you want to top your stuff with. It could be fried onions, it could be lime, cilantro, anything like that.
Ooh.
So basically you got noodles, you got chicken, you put in the curry, and then you top it with whatever you want, and you mix it all up and eat it. Oh, it's so good.
Those flat noodles.
I like flat noodles. I don't know why.
Yeah, my noodles need to be long. I like to if I'm using a fork and a spoon, just twist it all up and then
Otherwise, you might as well eat rice.
Yeah. I might as well just eat rice or anything else. Or
long grain rice.
Very long grain.
Yeah. Those are my go-to. And actually, I just remembered the type of noodle that I was talking about earlier. It's called, I don't know how to pronounce it, cognac. Maybe it's Konjac. It's derived from a root of some plant. I think in Japanese they call it shirataki noodles. I don't know. You can find it at Sprouts, at any at any place. But it's not rice. It like kind of looks like it, like the rice noodles, but it's not.
You said it was algae based, or
I thought it was. No, it's not. It's from a root.
Interesting.
It's called shirataki noodles, but also it's called cognac. It's from the cognac root. I think that maybe it's like a cognac plant. It's like I know nothing
I've never
about
heard
it.
of that. That's awesome.
Will you? I don't know what the intention of your question was in terms of what type of noodle you like. I don't know if you were actually referring to shape, but that's just what I went with.
No. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. Because everybody has a favorite type of noodle. Mine has to be angel hair.
Oh.
I love angel hair pasta. Always have. Just the thin, long. The presentation of, especially with Italian food, presentation of the noodle is very important to me too. Like how it's set up on the plate. Like you were talking about twirling the noodles. Like if you get a true Italian dish that is twirled, they
It's like
take
a little
the
volcano.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If that's don't just slap it on the plate. I mean, just cafeteria line style and just go on. No, like
Boom.
Put some effort into it. And when they twirl that, there's probably a technical term for that.
It's called a twirl.
There you go.
I don't know. I just made that up.
The twirl.
It is.
So I knew the technical term. Zitoro. And you have to make the hand gesture. Zitoro.
Do the twirl.
And everybody knows exactly what hand gesture we made.
It's like a let's go almost.
No, it's so important. Like you gotta up the presentation game.
I mean, you just feel like somebody put a little love in there.
Exactly.
Right. It was thoughtfully put on your plate, even if it wasn't. That's
Good question, though. I like that.
yeah. Now, if you were talking about a type of noodle, it'd be rice noodles
Okay.
because I think they absorb the most flavor.
For sure.
Do they use rice noodles in Vietnamese cuisine also?
Mm-hmm.
That was another mind-blowing culture, like, I don't want to say culture shock, but it was like immersion for me when I moved to Oklahoma City. Was the Asian food here is
It's incredible.
yes.
We've got a huge Asian community.
I read somewhere, I actually was Googling. I'm like, I don't understand how we have such a, I just don't know much. I didn't know much about Oklahoma City. And so I was just trying to understand. And I think at some point in our history, we had a huge influx of Vietnamese immigrants come in, and they set their roots here, and they opened their restaurants and just integrated into society. Now it's just a part of this, our fabric of multiculturalism here.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm traveling or talking with friends from across the country, and we're talking about Vietnamese food or Thai food or things like that, I'm just like, they're like, man, we got some like really, really good food here. And, sometimes I'll try it and be like, we got better in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I was just like, it is incredible the amount of diversity we have in our food in Oklahoma. And that's actually really good, because you can have diversity in food and it'd be like, mediocre food from here and there. But almost all types of food, like Ethiopian, Vietnamese, we're talking Thai, we're talking American, like country, like barbecue, because I mean all of those little facets of food are a little different culture all amongst themselves. Because like you talk about barbecue, you were talking about butcher stand a little earlier, you bring in Clark Crew to the mix, right? They both have fantastic barbecue,
Right.
but how they approach barbecue might be a little different.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is this so many great nuances?
And I have yet to meet someone who is either visiting Oklahoma City or like recently moved to Oklahoma City that has not been impressed with the food here. Everybody talks about Oklahoma. It's the people that are amazing. But like when you start talking about food, people are shocked at the type and the quality of food that we have here.
But I think it's because of the people that are amazing.
Sure, absolutely.
That the food is amazing. Because, I mean, Oklahoma has by far, like you walk down the street, you say hi to someone, they'll say hi back, right? You try to do that in some bigger city, they'd be like, "Who's this weirdo?"
Exactly.
It's like, what do you want from me?
But I think that level of comfort comes up in the food because they're like, "Hey, look, I can just be myself and express it through food."
Yeah.
Right? Because they're not trying to dumb it down. They're not. Maybe to a certain extent they couldn't find the right ingredients, so they had to substitute because that's a thing. But it's just them being like, "Hey, this is me in my cuisine."
Yeah, I think that as somebody, I mean, I'm just imagining, like, again, I'm a foodie. I'm not a chef. I've not been professionally trained.
All prerequisites for being on the podcast.
but I can just kind of put myself in the shoes of somebody who wants to open a restaurant here in Oklahoma City and thinking, I want to bring a type of cuisine that has not been tried before, seen before here. And I feel like a weight is lifted off your shoulders when you imagine what your audience is going to be like here, because I feel like everybody here, and I don't know how it is because I haven't lived as an adult in other states in the United States, so I don't know how the...
You haven't lived everywhere in the world?
I haven't lived in every country in the world, sorry. But I just don't... I've traveled places and I can definitely tell that I'll get yelled at in Boston. I just will. I'm just going to get yelled at.
Well, because you're like strolling around and you're like, oh shit, I'm in the way. Sorry.
Like if I forget to just like say hello to somebody, they'll just be like, I don't know, I'm just going to get called out. I'm going to yelled at in Berkeley. I mean, it is what it is. But in Oklahoma City, or maybe the state of Oklahoma, maybe it's like a totally different landscape where you can put more... your worries are not so much on how the population or the audience will criticize you and how they're going to take this. Like, I'm not going to make my cuisine into some fusion so that like our audience will think that it's not so, so weird. It may be more authentic because people are more open to trying something new, because people are more, they have a kinder approach to things. And it could be a kinder approach to different things that they've never tried. I don't know. I like that about this place.
Bottom line, I love Oklahoma City. I love Oklahoma.
Which is, I guess, why we have a podcast centered around it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
Question. I like this little random question episode. I feel like we should do more of these. Okay, now I'm rethinking this question because when I was thinking about it, I was, how we talked about a little bit of a baseline earlier where you go to somewhere new and you establish a baseline on how that food is. For me, that's a very important approach to trying different things. Like, it's very scientific in that sense because as a kid, I used to love math and science. So, let's say that's what influenced this. But like in science, like you change one variable at a time to know how it impacts something. You don't just be like, okay, I'm going to make a burger. We'll keep the same patty, but we'll change everything else around it. You don't know what works, what didn't work, what happened. Do you all go in with like, it's not right or wrong. Everyone has their own approach. Do you go in with like a baseline approach to trying new places, or do you just go in and be like, what's their specialty? Like the craziest thing that they've concocted, like their namesake, and I'm going to try that.
I think it depends on what type of food we're talking about. So if I'm thinking Italian food, just for me personally, when I go to an Italian restaurant or like a pizza place, I always want to try their Caesar salad. It's just something that I kind of will judge and again, I don't like all cheeses. I'm very picky about my cheeses. But when it comes to a Caesar salad, I feel like if the right type of parmesan isn't in there and there's not enough anchovy, then it's just not working for me. So I'm like, okay, that's not... I'll come back for something else, but that's just kind of a...
So like you failed the first step of the Caesar salad.
Exactly. I don't know why.
I don't know if I can trust you anymore.
I feel like the trust has been breached. If
so like at almost every Italian place, you'll get the Caesar salad.
I'll always get a Caesar salad.
Interesting.
I'll get another type of dish. Maybe I'll share with someone.
Right.
But I always want to order the Caesar salad because I want to try the type of parm they're using and also their dressing. And then I'll ask if it's like homemade. If it's like a dressing made. In-house.
That's a huge thing, right? I know Serena always judge places on their ranch because she's a ranch connoisseur, self-proclaimed. But there's been times where she'll be like, no, that's Hidden Valley. That's that they made in-house, so that they did this with. I was like, I'm not that into ranch, but that's cool. Yeah. I like those little distinctions.
I think mine has to do a lot with trust on the style or type of food as well. If I know I'm going into an establishment with a baseline of trust in the cuisine or the type of dishes that are offered, I'm more likely to be adventurous in what I'm going to try than if I'm walking into a brand new place and don't know anything about it, or maybe not necessarily know anything about it, but am less familiar. So I'm trying to think of an example of that. But if there is a let's just go back to the burgers. If there's a good burger place that I have already established that they have good burgers, I'm more likely to be adventurous.
Oh yeah.
In what I order at that burger place than if I was walking into a place that never tried their burger before and immediately go to the item that I'm just like, that's weird. Or I'm not gonna go in a brand new place. I'm not gonna order burger with asparagus on it. But if it is like a place that I have gone,
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I haven't either. It's a wild example.
Okay,
but like if it is a place
that
I do trust and I have like they've proven themselves, then I'm gonna go, wait a second, that has asparagus on it, or whatever the example is.
What can you do with this?
Exactly. Yeah. And then I'm gonna take that extra step to say, okay, I trusted you guys with that baseline, or with that Caesar salad or whatever that is. Now I'm gonna go to the extra step.
So was that y'all's experience with the peanut butter burgers? Because to me that's wild. Like I've never had a peanut butter in a burger.
Yeah, for me it was, I love peanut butter, so I'm just like, I don't care how good this is.
Of course.
Let's do it.
Sometimes you throw the science brain out the window.
It's true.
You're like, man, that just sounds really good. I gotta try this.
You're like, you don't need my trust. I'm just gonna.
Just the fact that you're trying this, I gotta try it.
Plus, I may or may not have had my wife with me that night that I tried the peanut butter burger, and she hates peanut butter, so I knew I could actually eat everything on my plate and not have to share any of it.
Oh.
So there may have been.
I'm not gonna step into that.
So I got all the peanut butter burger.
Hey, you want to try some? Nope. I don't like peanut butter. Oh, sorry,
darn,
I forgot. That's really funny.
What about you?
I mean, we kind of talked about this on the burger aspect of things, but I do have a baseline for a lot of things, and obviously they're all different because can't walk into an Italian place with a burger baseline. It makes absolutely no sense. But I do like for example, at a pizza place, even if we're ordering, I want to try their creations for what they're famous for, but even if we're in a group and we order like a couple pizzas or whatever we did, I would always, if it's the first time I'm there, like, could I try a slice of your cheese? Because I always have cheese by the slice. Almost every place has cheese by the slice, right?
Oh.
I mean, like every place I can think of has, maybe not Hideaway. I don't know if they have by the slice, but most places will have pizza by the slice, and if they do, I will definitely try their cheese. I don't try to impose my will on everyone that I'm with. I'm like, no, I gotta try the cheese. Mm-hmm. Let's get one cheese pizza, even if no one wants to eat it. No, there's certain extrapolations you can make from whatever it is you got. Like if you got the margarita, you could extrapolate how their cheese is going to be.
Awesome.
That's a really interesting selection because it's so, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but like it's basic.
Yeah.
Like it's super basic.
Yeah.
And like for me, like if I go into a pizza place, I want to find something with a lot of toppings to see if they balance their flavors well, if you know the ingredients, even if it is like a specialty pizza, if it's like well put together and like tells me that they know what they're doing and not just throwing random ingredients. So to hear just cheese,
Yeah.
like that's really weird. And I would never do that. I'm like, I'm not gonna waste stomach space on just one slice of cheese
Stomach
pizza.
space.
Or
Oh my
something.
gosh.
It's valuable stomach space.
It is very valuable. So I mean, what are you looking for in that cheese pizza?
I mean, I'm just looking for like the flavor of the crust, because
That's true.
pizza's the crust, right?
But when you don't have those extra toppings, it can help you really differentiate the taste of the crust.
Yeah.
From the
And
rest
then
of it.
it also tells you about like their, and it could differ if you got 10 toppings on a pizza or not, but like the ratio of the sauce and the cheese and what blend of cheese they use. And like I think it gives a good baseline to their thoughtfulness on cheese. Like if someone just handed you a cheese pizza with mozzarella on it, right, and like an out of the can tomato sauce, that's the sauce that they're using on all their other pizzas.
Right.
And that might get masked by other ingredients, but like if that sauce is that extra step above, it's just going to elevate everything else.
I'm sensing a pattern here. So basically, I think that we're all kind of, when we go into new places or, you know, trying different foods or restaurants, I feel like you can really infer the thought, the creativity, the effort that an establishment can have on their you know, their menu by how much thought they put into their most basic item, right? If their most basic item is, like you said, like it's like you can really like you can tell like what cheese blend it is. Is the ratio right? It's, you know, wasn't soggy enough where like the crust is still really, you know, it's nice and cooked and or whatever. Like for me, like the Caesar salad, like my fiance makes fun of me, like, why are you always ordering a Caesar salad? I'm like, I just have to know if they care about their, you know, if the Caesar dressing is made in house and also what type of parm they're using. Because like I'm like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the reason why I can tell between good chocolate and Hershey's chocolate. I'm sorry.
Oh snap, RJ, she's coming at you hot.
I don't know why when I wanted to like Hershey's chocolate. I just couldn't. It just has a really weird aftertaste. I'm not going to say what it tastes like because it's going to be rude, but it's kind of like that for me. You know, it's like if the basic item is just well thought out, it's good, then you know that everything else will be. It's like they didn't just, you know, the burger.
What about Hershey's chocolate and a s'more?
I can't. I tried.
Really?
I can taste the aftertaste.
Wow. What's the aftertaste?
It's
like?
a butyric acid. It's literally I don't want to say this on the podcast. It's like after a really long night of partying and you've done some things and you're home and you're just like, I just need to go to bed. And then the next morning you're like, yeah, I've got some weird aftertaste. I mean, but okay, let me just like be specific. It's like all
right, we're getting into this right now.
By done some things, I mean like just drinking and like maybe having to barf here and there, whatever. It's just it's like rancid milk. Okay, like when milk goes bad, it smells nasty. It's putrid, right? I don't know why I can taste that.
Interesting.
You guys.
Do you think it's one of those cilantro soap things?
Is it a genetic mutation I have in my DNA? No, I really think that America's chocolatiers have, you know, really did us dirty some time ago.
Did us dirty. We're just cutting to the heart of the issue right now.
Well, we're not getting sponsored by Hershey's anytime soon.
No, just kidding.
Well,
No,
I guess I'll retract my email.
Okay. Disclaimer.
Dear Hershey's, we apologize.
I did not realize that there was a genetic mutation that causes your chocolate to taste like the night after partying.
Okay, full disclaimer. I think we don't. We're just not blessed with American chocolate
I was
in
gonna say,
other countries.
I'm with you on that. Hershey's is not the chocolate I'm gonna go for if you're going for quality chocolate. So
This
I'm
whole
with you
time,
on that.
Josh, you left me out
no,
there in the
I
open.
wanted to.
Gotta have our fun with it first.
That's right. I wanted to see how far you were gonna go. And apparently, we're going to taste after you party. That's how far.
After
we're going.
party taste. I don't know how we segued into this, but my apologies.
Well,
Quality
on
of
that note-
chocolate. Quality of chocolate.
Quality of the basics.
Yes.
Well, with that,
I mean, I hope you learned a little something about all of us in that episode. You definitely learned a lot about Christina right there, with at least the chocolate.
Yeah. It's just
So don't be sending us Hershey's chocolate. I feel like people, this would be really funny if someone does send it as a joke.
hey, I'd be okay with it. Christina,
I'll eat it.
I'll give it to Nabil. It'll be okay.
Send it to Christina.
I'll just give it to RJ. It's fine.
But like I said, hopefully you learned a little something about Josh and Christina and myself, because I don't think we've ever talked about like baselines and things like that on the podcast.
was good.
So
That's good.
if you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button no matter where you're listening to the podcast, so you know when the next episode is out.
You can also follow us on all of our social media channels, on Facebook, on Instagram. We're extremely active with that now that we're back up and running. Message us as well on Facebook and Instagram. We'd love to hear from you guys. So reach out to us with your ideas or comments. We'd love to hear from you.
And maybe one day we'll have a TikTok. I'm
Just
This is Christina's mission.
she's like, gold
Guys, should we do a TikTok?
This is my millennial self trying to insert myself into the.
Oh, she's calling us old, bro.
Hey, I'm part of the club too. I mean, I may be a little younger than you guys, but it's not. It's okay. Can't wait to hear from you guys.
Until then, we'll see you next week.
Eat well and be happy.